Check, 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 check. What up? What up? What up, chat? What's up, chat? How you doing, chat? What's up, chat? All right, let's get down to business. Let's get down to brass tacks. It's tax season, you know? We're here to get down to brass tacks. We're not here to evade these brass tacks right now, okay? We're here to pay homage to the mirage of brass tacks. Relax and hit some fat stacks. Made some fat stacks, pay some IRS income tax, okay? All right, it's going to happen. Now, what are we doing here today? Well, looks like we're just broadcasting from one ear right now. This is one ear. Can I merge this actually? Okay, that is annoying. Maybe like that. Okay. I've taken a new approach today. Today I was going to work. I was at work earlier today. And YouTube is not receiving data. It'll probably fix itself in a second. But yeah, so I was at work, and this is my method today. My method was to export all of the audio tracks, all of the chapters, to my music app, and then listen to all of the unfinished chapters while I was at work. And I made like a list of all of the points that need to be fixed on these chapters. So starting from chapter 1, going all the way down to chapter 5, we've got like, oh, this thing repeats. I repeated that word. This is the timestamp. So yeah, I just have a list of things to fix here. So I'm going to go ahead and go through those here in a second. But before that, I did outsource a little bit of what I recorded yesterday. So if you guys do recall, yesterday I was recording in the closet. And, this feels pretty good. This feels pretty good because I recorded about an hour and 20 minutes worth of material. And I sent it out to somebody and I said, hey, see what you can do with this. And they sent me back something today. So I'll show you guys what we're working with. So on this is right here. Let's remove that duplication of sound actually, because I know you're duplicating. Check. Yeah, you're duplicating. All right. So this is what we got. This is what we were working with to begin with. Ready? Oh, you can't hear it. While commercial growers flood their fields for efficiency and weed, the simplest guide to growing rice at home. Written by Teal Kimball. Narrated by Eric Pullman. The simplest guide to growing rice at home. Written by Teal Kimball. Copyright by Teal Kimball. All rights reserved. All rights reserved. Printed in America. By Teal Kimball Publishing.
Publishers since 2019. This publication may not be...
Yeah, you get it. So that's what we were working with. And then this is how it sounds from what I got from the person who sent it to me.
The Simplest Guide to Growing Rice at Home. Written by Teal Kimball. Narrated by Eric Pullman. Copyright by Teal Kimball. All rights reserved. Printed in America by Teal Kimball Publishing. Publishers since 2019. This publication may not be reproduced. This publication may not be reproduced, distributed, photocopying, or recording without prior written permission from the publisher. This publication, 2019. This publication may not be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying or recording, without prior written permission from the publisher. Brief quotations for critical reviews, and certain non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law are allowed. Growing rice at home is far more accessible than most people imagine, breaking away from the common belief that it requires vast flooded fields or specialized farming equipment. In reality, this ancient grain can thrive in something as simple as containers on a patio or in a small backyard garden plot. The secret lies in understanding that rice is essentially a grass that enjoys consistent moisture. Nothing more mysterious than that. What makes home rice growing particularly approachable is its adaptability to different settings. While commercial growers flood their fields for efficiency and weed control, home gardeners can succeed with much simpler methods. You don't need acres of land or complex irrigation systems. A few large containers or a raised bed can provide enough space to grow a meaningful amount of rice for your household. The beauty of growing rice at home lies in its forgiving nature. Despite its reputation as a demanding crop, rice plants are surprisingly resilient and can adapt to various conditions. Different varieties exist for different climates, making it possible to grow rice in many regions, not just traditional rice-growing areas. The plants themselves act as teachers, showing clear signs when they're happy or when they need attention. Perhaps the most encouraging aspect of home rice cultivation is how it fits into regular gardening routines. While commercial rice farming might seem overwhelming, growing rice on a small scale feels more like tending to any other garden plant. The basic needs are straightforward: adequate sunlight, consistent moisture, and practice. Regular garden tools and basic gardening knowledge provide a sufficient foundation for success. The rewards of growing rice extend beyond just harvesting grain. It becomes a fascinating educational experience.
Okay, I'm convinced. It's pretty good up to this point.
An innovative approach, hydroponics allows you to grow rice in water without soil, significantly reducing land usage. Regardless of the method chosen, ensure the plants receive enough sunlight, 6 to 8 hours daily, and adequate water for germination and growth. Planting and care. Rice can be planted directly in the soil once the seedlings are about 4 to 6 inches in height. or can be directly sown in height, or can be directly sown into containers. Here are some tips for care. Sowing. Plant around 20 tips for care. Sowing. Plant around 20 to 30 seeds per container or per square foot in a raised bed. Space the seeds adequately to allow for growth. Watering. Rice plants watering. Rice plants need standing water during their growth period. Maintain about 2 to 4 inches of water in the container or raised bed of water in the container or raised bed, requiring regular monitoring and topping up during dry spells. Fertilization. Incorporate organic fertilization. Incorporate organic fertilizers such as compost for essential nutrients. A balanced approach with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium promotes healthy growth. Weed management. Regular weeding. Regular weeding is necessary to prevent competition for nutrients. Hand pulling or using mulches can help manage the weeds without harming the rice plants. Harvesting and post-harvest handling. Typically, the rice is ready for harvest when the grains turn golden, about 3 to 6 months, depending on the variety. To harvest, cutting. Use scissors or a sickle to cutting. Use scissors or a sickle to cut the stalks at the base. Drying. Hang the cut stalks in a cool, dry weeks. Threshing. Once dried, the grains can be threshed manually or using a small mechanical thresher. Required materials. Container 12 to 15 inches deep. 12 to 15 inches deep. Options. Large plastic buckets, storage tubs, or decks. Short grain rice seeds. Large plastic bucket trays. Short grain rice seeds. Potting soil can be mixed with organic matter. Space requirements. Step-by-step growing process. 1. Container preparation. Drill/punch drainage holes in the bottom. 1/4 inch holes every 6 inches. Fill the container with 6 inches of a fertile soil mixture. Create a watertight basin underneath to catch and recycle water. 2. Seed preparation, 14 days before planting. Soak seeds in water for 24 hours. Drain and wrap in a damp cloth. Keep in a warm place, 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Wait for sprouting. Tiny white shoots. 3. Planting. Create one sprouting. Tiny white shoots. Sprouting. Three.
Hey, Kirsten. How you doing, Kirsten? I did not see you slip in there. Good to see you. Oh, okay. You just posted. What's up? How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. What up, Kirsten? All right, so what I'm doing right now is I just got this submitted back. It is the first 15 minutes of this new project I'm doing on growing rice. It's called The Simplest Guide to Growing Rice at Home. And this is... You know what? Yeah, that duplicated somehow. So I gotta delete that. All right, but yeah, so I sent this off. I sent this intro off, about an hour and 20 minutes off for editing yesterday. And today, actually, no, I sent it off earlier today for editing. And I already got it back. So I'm just going through and I'm looking at the edit and I'm trying to take out all the unnecessary pauses. It looks like in this, I got back one that had just a little bit of like excess pausing here and there. So I'm trying to go through and like delete that as I go through. I'm exhausted painted today, went to dinner for my friend's birthday, then shopping. I just got home. Love it. That sounds like you had a really fun-filled day. Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. I love that for you. Wait, is that a good thing? I think I'll definitely let them know. Like, I'll send them a copy of what I have here, and then I think it'll give them, like, I guess, good feedback as to sort of what I expect as far as spacing goes. But, I mean, they sent this over to me free of charge right now, so I don't have any obligation to have paid for this just yet, but it did save me a lot of time to go through the initial round of like getting out all of the dead space and getting the best take, putting that in, stuff like that. So it did save me quite a bit of time, but I think that we'll also probably need to be on the same page with regard to like the spacing on here. So I'm not really sure how to approach that just yet, other than like, hey, I did fix the timing. This is what I did with the timing. Check it out. Seems good. Yeah, it definitely seems good. It's not like optimal. I wouldn't say it's like the best, but it's a work in progress and definitely way better than, a lot more efficient than I would have done by myself. So that's all I can really say. Like, I'm happy that I wasn't doing all that work.
3. Planting. Create 1-inch deep furrows in the soil. Space seeds in the soil. Space seeds 6 inches apart. Cover lightly with soil. Water thoroughly until the soil is saturated. 4. Growing conditions. Temperature. Optimal at 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 to 29 degrees Celsius. Minimum 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius.
That's
water
above.
Management. Keep water management. Keep soil consistently wet, maintaining 2 inches of standing water once plants reach 5 to 6 inches tall.
Yeah, I'd love to see those oil paintings once they're done. I'd love to see that. Love to hear that you're living your best life like that.
Reducing water is tall. Reducing water.
Okay, let's see. No.
Reducing wall.
Yes, it's too much of a pause, but I don't think I need it right away. So like,
reducing water during 6 inches tall. Reducing water during tillering. 5. Maintain schedule. Months 1 through 2. Keep soil moist but not flooded. Remove weeds weekly and not flooded. Remove weeds weekly and monitor for pests. Months 3 through 4. And monitor for pests.
Okay.
For pests. Monitor for pests.
Yeah, no.
For pests. Months 3 through 4. Maintain shallow water level. Support plants if needed. And watch for yellowing leaves. Add organic fertilizer. Add organic fertilizer if necessary. Months 4 through 6. Reduce water when grains form. Stop watering when grains turn golden. And protect from birds with netting if outdoors. 6. Harvesting and processing. Signs of readiness. Plants turn golden brown. Grains are firm and golden. About 5 to 6 months after planting. Processing steps. After planting. Processing steps. 1. Cut stalks at the base. 2. Hang upside down to dry. 2 weeks.
Yeah, no. I think what they're doing is I think they may use an automatic processor. I've had an editor friend tell me about those where they'll actually use the transcript to automatically to cut these up to provide the spacing between the words and remove redundancy. I don't know what that program is or what it looks like. I really would love to use something like that. That would be cool. But I think that's what they're using to do a basic editing to it.
2 weeks. 3. Remove grains by hand or by gently beating. 4. Remove husks by rolling between hands. 5. Winnow using a fan or natural breeze.
Okay. So how much is this in total? I'd say it's about 13 and a half. 1324. I just realized I think I accidentally might have stole a book from the store. Oh no. Oh no. I found it on a shelf of discounted books. It says repackage on it. So IDK if that meant that someone's online purchase. Oh no. I do acrylic paintings. Oil's too expensive and I don't have proper ventilation for it. Why do I feel like I've seen you do oil paintings? Is that I could have sworn I seen that somewhere. I don't know, I could be wrong on that, but let's see. I just go down a rabbit hole these days for I go into Instagram and then I'm like, oh, 5 new notifications. What are the notifications? And then there's like tons of things that pop up. Yes, what's up, Gray? Good to see you, Gray. Welcome in, Gray. Hello. How are you tonight? I could have sworn I did pay for it, but now I'm thinking it was not meant for purchase because the cashier was having issues. Ooh. Which book did you steal? If you did steal a book, which book did you steal? Yikes. That's too bad. Why can I not pull up your Instagram? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. The closest thing to oils I've done is the blue. Yeah, that was probably it. It was probably the Bluey mural. Because I think that was the thing that I saw last. The book is Knowing the Trees, Discover the Forest, From Seed to Snag by Ken Keffer. Okay, let's see that one. Google. Knowing the Trees, Discover the Forest, From Seed to Snag. Amazon. So was this just like an impulse buy, or was this like you intended to go in and buy this? I'll send you a message so it's easier to find. All right, for sure. Because I was looking through messages. I was like, I'm pretty sure you messaged me at some point, but I don't even see messages on there. Oh, actually, I think I've seen your photography page. Yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. Wait, my Insta or TikTok? I'm pretty much on Instagram these days, so I usually just go from Instagram. It was an impulse buy, as were others for today. Okay. Love the impulse buys. You got to keep things interesting, you know? Yeah, because I definitely would know your TikTok. How's the audiobook going? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I did not see that come through. I did not see that come through here. Usually I have Twitch on this other screen over here, so I'll pull it up over here so I see that chat. Cause I got YouTube over here, and it's just like covering it. All right, here we go. There we go. I think. No, that's on full screen actually. Let's pull it back. Bring back the chat. There's the chat. There we go. Yo, Eric, how are you? Happy hump day. Happy hump day to you as well. I'm doing okay. LOL, how are you? I'm doing pretty fantastic. I think, so I sent these projects out for editing, And where'd that go? I sent these out for editing, and just got this edit back today, so I'm excited to see how these 13 minutes turned out. But that's for another project that I'm doing. I exported everything onto my music, and then I listened to it at work. So I've got a bunch of notes as far as what I need to do, like how I need to change the timing, how I need to remove repeats. So it's all notated here, and I took that while I was at work there. So tried to optimize time there. So that's how the audiobook's going right now. Just wanted to say hello and hope you have a good night. I'll catch you later. Well, great. It's so good to see you. Thanks for popping in. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one for sure, for sure. Hope you're having a good night. All right, so let's see. How did this turn out?
The Simplest Guide to Growing Rice at Home. Written by Teal Kimball. Narrated by Eric Pullman. The Simplest Guide to Growing Rice at Home. Written by Teal Kimball. Narrated by Eric Pullman. Copyright by Teal Kimball. All rights.
I'm going to say, bring that back a bit.
Narrated by Eric Pullman. Copyright by Teal Kimball. All rights reserved. Printed in America by Teal Kimball. The Simplest Guide to... Copyright by Teal Kimball. All rights, including photocopying or recording, without prior... Growing rice at home is far more accessible than most people imagine, breaking away from the common belief.
Oh, actually, I think I need to do it like that because there's like a breath in there. I think this one right here needs to elongate just a bit. Yeah. Okay. See, what I'm doing here is I'm going in and I'm making sure anytime there's like a crossover, like these little fades, when I push everything over to the side, it doesn't exactly do the fade correctly. And so I have to push them all back over to where I first intended them on being. Oh, I see you found my art one. I haven't posted on there in months. Yeah, I had to look for that one, because that's really what I was looking for there. The art that you do. I know you're always talking about having done paintings, so definitely got to give that one a follow. I love a good photography page. I follow a lot of photographers, but definitely got to see the one you're most passionate about. Okay. Okay, that looks good. And it's 1323. Cool. It's all my old stuff. I got to update it. All right. Well, hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for the updates. Okay. So we're going to take all of those and then bounce it as a MP3. automatic normalize all that. Or growing rice. First, we'll do first 15. We'll say growing rice guide. Yeah. I'd love to see if you have any new projects for paintings. I'd love to see that on there. Ooh, did this piece today. Gonna make a TikTok off it, but you're the first to see it. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool. I love what you did with the space background on that. That's super, super neat. Very galactic. And yeah, that is super neat. Almost, it's got like an Iron Man vibe for sure, as he's blasting through space. But it's got these really cool touches of like stars that are shooting, the little shooting stars in the background, and then right underneath him, there's like this circle of like this dark hue of green that I never see except when I'm looking like deep in the night sky. And little hints of purple in there as well, like very deep, deep purple and indigo. That's really cool. That's really cool. I love that. Love the vibe this is given. It is Iron Man. I love it. I love it. But it's like, it's a minimalistic Iron Man, you know? And I love how minimalistic it is because you can't exactly tell on the outset exactly what it is. Like, it's fairly clear when you look at the details, but it's very, like, it uses that element of subtlety. Just a silhouette, though, because that's all I had time for. I think it works really well. Because if it were like Iron Man, it would super stick out against this background. I really, really like this background. I like it, too, that the shooting stars are kind of like framing the photo. Like they're shooting in different ways. And I think it gives this really cool effect. It's like everything's in motion. Really neat. Yeah, I love what you've done with this. Super cool. I'd put it on blast here, but I don't know if you want to be super public with it just yet. All right, let's see. I think we bounced it, so let's see how that turned out. Okay. I think I have to go to Prism Studio and then go to this right here. Okay. So let's go to my projects, in production, upload audio, upload file, first 15. That file looks different. Alright, issues found with audio. RMS too low. Raise the level of this file 8 decibels. Sorry, my sister called. What were you saying? Oh, no. I was just saying that this is really cool. I love that. Very, very neat. Very cool. Love this piece. Issues found with audio. Alright, so yeah, and as far as the other messages on there, I can explain. Alright, let's see. RMS too low. So we can fix an RMS too low. All we need is I think the compressor puts it on there automatically, right? I wonder if there's a way to fix those hard S's that I have on there. Like, is it possible? Does gain or does compression do that? I imagine probably not, but like, yeah, you were so right. Because I was playing it on here, and then I was like, oh yeah, let me just move on over. Yeah, awesome. Cool. All right, let's see. Sorry about that. I'm back on this now. Thought this froze. You were just sitting still too long. Oops. My bad. All right.
The Simplest Guide to Growing Rice at Home. Written by Teal Kimball. Narrated by Eric Pullman. Copyright by Teal Kimball. All rights reserved. Printed in America by Teal Kimball Publishing. Publishers since 2019. This publication may not be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying, are allowed. Growing rice at home is far more accessible than most people imagine. Breaking away from the common belief that it requires vast flooded fields or specialized farming equipment. In reality, this ancient grain can thrive in something as simple as containers on a patio or in a small backyard garden plot. The secret lies in understanding that rice, the simplest guide to growing rice at home is far more accessible than growing rice at home. Growing rice at home is
I guess not, because like, is it band reject maybe?
growing rice at home is far more accessible.
No, I don't know what that looks like to get rid of it, but there's that like really strong S there.
Growing rice at home,
And it's like super squeaky, and I really want to get rid of it, but I wonder how.
growing rice at home,
Right there. It just hurts. Love how it says no reproduction of this yet. Yeah. So it specifies there that it's for commercial purpose.
this publication may not be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying or recording, without prior written permission from the publisher, brief quotations for critical reviews, and certain non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law are allowed.
So this is a example of a non-commercial use because I'm not banking money from Twitch.
Non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law are allowed.
I'd say that would capture what I'm doing there. But it is always a question that somebody could ask, but I believe that I'm fully compliant with copyright law. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bounce it with that compressor, and maybe that works. Yeah, no, I don't make any money from YouTube either, so that one is also gonna be non-commercial. It would be a commercial use if I were running ads on YouTube and Twitch. I think at that rate, then it would be a scenario where I would start to have to get permission from the author prior to me broadcasting it. But they would, of course, be okay with me showcasing their material. I think as all creators would. Like, if you took my clips from this stream, I don't know why you would do this, but if you were to take my clips from this stream and you were to chop it up and into like really brain rot bits, right, where it's just like something that I did or something that I said, or even this monologue that I'm saying right now, right? If you took these things and then put captions on them and then made like little pop-ups and sound effects and made it super engaging, and you got like 3,000 views on it, like, I would not be mad. I would be really happy that you're taking my thing and you're transforming it into something that spreads the word and also that's going to benefit me because it gives me way more exposure, and then it also benefits you because you're getting the views that you deserve from taking this work and transforming it. So that's how I feel about it. Like, I think all creators should feel that way about it. Like if I just wanted to make money, I would just work at my job, you know? Like, there are far easier ways to make money. But so I'm saying this because when I see creators that are like, that's my work, give me money, it just makes no sense because they don't have the long game in mind. I will always be okay if somebody takes my work and they transform it and they make it into something that's more engaging. I love that. I'm not at that skill level yet, but Bibble definitely is. No, Bibble definitely is. Bibble is 100% at that level. So, I kind of wish that I would just like pay somebody to like watch my stuff and just turn it into fun clips like that. Because I feel like I do have my moments. Definitely can't do it right now because it's so late, but like I definitely do have my moments that are clippable that could be turned into something on its own. And yeah, I don't know. Someday. All right. So let's go ahead and go through this list. So I got actually, don't need to pay anyone to watch your stuff. We do it for free. I love that. Yeah, but I think on top of that, I think it's just really important to give somebody a monetary incentive to take what I put out there and then create it into something else. And I don't know what that looks like just yet. I'm really trying to formulate the best way to do that. But I want to give people the best incentive to take my stuff and make it their own and then put it out there and benefit from it. So whatever that looks like. But I'll never stand in anybody's way who tries to do that. All right, let's see. Here we go. We got these books on sale in production. Here we go. Let's see if this is accepted.
The Simplest Guide to Growing Rice at Home. Written by Teal Kimball. Narrated by Eric Pullman. Copyright by Teal Kimball. All rights reserved. Printed in America by Teal Kimball Publishing. Publishers since 2019. This publication may not be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying or recording, without prior written permission from the publisher. Brief quotations for critical reviews, and certain non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law are allowed. Growing rice.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get back with that person at some point later tonight regarding this, because 15 minutes could be taken down to 13.25. Or 13.5 minus 15 would be about a minute 5. So a minute 5 in excess is kind of a lot. Might actually buy this book. My brother's into growing his own food. Hey, there we go. I will say that it is better as a book itself. I would definitely buy the actual book because it's pretty cool. Let's see if I can go into this. Auditions. Voiceover. ACX. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to show on here. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just change this to... there we go. Yeah. So I think it's probably better in day mode here, but this is the book here. And I think it's pretty nice. As far as like once you get down into these sections where it's like, you know, choosing the right variety, I think it just sets it up to where it's like, hey, you know, your eyes like immediately catch. There's this one, jasmine rice, basmati, sticky rice. Setting up your growing area, we need containers, raised beds, hydroponics, planting and care. Like, I think this reads a lot better as an actual book rather than an audiobook. But audiobooks are kind of magical in that, you know, you can listen to an audiobook at the same time that you're reading the book. So, and plus it even, let's make sure. Okay, so my mic's on there. All right, cool. Yeah, but like you get down here and there's this section for a log and yeah, this planner. So I spoke a little bit about this planner. This was actually kind of hard to do as an audiobook, but I did do something that communicated these needed to be logged. But I mean, this is good just to have as like sort of a clipboard near your rice, and then you got something to record as, or something to guide your observations as you're checking it out on a daily basis. You know, you got your maintenance tracker, your growth observations, stuff like that. So I think I did up to, I think it was poetry. I think it was rice poetry. No, wait. These. I did everything up to the recipes. So that's what I did last night. And I think it reads better as a book, but that's just me. All right, let's see. Let's go back to this. So we got the 15-minute checkpoint in review. We'll see how they think of it. And we'll get back to him. This seems pretty cool. There's poetry about rice. Okay, that's kind of a joke. That's kind of a joke. But there's just so much about the rice. It's just like there's brief history about the rice, and then it's like how to grow. Then it goes into the guide of growing rice, which is kind of helpful, but that's only like 10% of the book. So then I think that it has to like make up for the fact that it is such a simple guide that it needs to now fill the rest. So it becomes like, you know, it becomes like there's a schematic for the rice plant. There's 100 interesting facts about rice. There's recipes for rice. It's kind of a grab bag of things in here. And I think that it only intended on being like maybe 16 pages. And I think it had to throw in a bunch of random stuff. That's kind of how it reads. So the poetry about rice is kind of a joke. but it would be on par with what they have on this already. So that's why I joke about it. Okay. Let's do a little bit of editing. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Then I'm going to open Neoliberalism 2. There we go. So, I've got some notes. Chapter 1. Okay. I got notes. I've got notes to follow. We started off with a repeat. 12 seconds in.
Neoliberal thinking. Origins and theoretical foundations. Neoliberal thinking, as we know it today, began to take shape in the 1940s and 1950s amid a historical context deeply marked by the economic and political crises of the interwar period and the intense state response to the perceived failures of the free market. Neoliberal thinking, as we know, a historical context deeply marked by the economic, amid a historical context, neoliberal thinking, as we know it today, began to take shape in the 1940s. Neoliberal thinking, as we know it today, began to take shape in the 1940s and 1950s amid a historical context deeply marked by the historical and political crises of the interwar period and the intense state response to the perceived failures of the free market. This period saw the height of...
All right. So we got that. And then we got a minute and 46 in. We have a... start timing. Okay.
These thinkers argued and warned against the dangers of collectivism and state planning. These thinkers argued that economic freedom and individual freedom were inseparable, and that extensive state intervention in the economy could lead to the erosion of civil liberty.
All right. I'm going to put those over here.
And warned against the dangers of collectivism and defended the supremacy of the... These thinkers argued that...
Okay. I think the start time needs to be just a little more.
These thinkers are... These thinkers...
Okay. How's that sound?
These thinkers in state planning. These thinkers argued that economic freedom...
There you go. So that's probably what I was talking about there. 425. Let's go to that. Let's go to 425.
Friedman focused on the economics, offering a scathing in social philosophy. Friedman focused on the economics, Friedman, philosophy. Friedman focused on the economics, offering a scathing, while Hayek focused on decades. While Hayek focused on political and social philosophy, Friedman focused on the
Actually,
Friedman focused on the economic. While Hayek decades. While Hayek While following decades. While Hayek focused on political and social philosophy, Friedman focused on the economics,
okay. 555. Let's go there. Let's go to 555.
The combination of ideas of Hayek and Friedman, along with the contributions of other neoliberal theorists such as Ludwig von Mises and Walter Eucken, formed the basis of what only created cycles of inflation and recession. The combination of ideas of Hayek and Friedman, along with the contribution.
I think maybe I'm saying that needs to be a little elongated.
Mises, century. Mises, with his work Human Action, 1949, defended rational human action as the basis of economy and the superiority of the free market over any form of state planning. Walter Eucken, in turn, was one of the founders of the Fribourg School in ordoliberalism, which significantly influenced.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Which significantly.
Okay. Then this will give me some room.
Only created cycles through public spending, only created cycles of inflation and recession. The combination of ideas of Hayek and Friedman, along with the contributions of other neoliberal theorists such as Ludwig von Mises and Walter Eucken, formed the basis of what would become one of the most influential ideologies of the late 20th century. Mises, with his work Human Action, 1949, defended rational human planning. Walter Eucken, in turn, was one of the founders of the Fribourg School in ordoliberalism. Was one of the founders, in turn, was one of the founders of the Fribourg School in ordoliberalism, which significantly influenced in ordoliberalism, which significantly influenced the development of the social market economy in post-war Germany.
Okay. So next on the list is 740. Where are we at? 740. Here we go.
The limitations of Keynesianism and provided an opportunity for the rise of new ideas. The Mont Pelerin gained strength as the economic crises of the 1970s exposed the limitations of Keynesianism.
Okay. There we go.
The limitations exposed the limitations.
Not quite.
The limitations exposed the limitation.
No. What about that?
The 1970s exposed the limitations of Keynesianism and provided an opportunity for the rise of new ideas. The Mont Pelerin Society and its members played a crucial role in disseminating these ideas. influencing public policy and shaping the economic discourse that would come influencing public policy and shaping the influencing ideas, influencing public policy and shaping the economic discourse that would come to dominate in the following decades. Neoliberalism, with its emphasis on free markets, reducing the role of the state and promoting individual freedom, became the ideological basis for the economic reforms. Neoliberalism, with its emphasis on free markets, reduced.
All right. Okay. 8:57 is to ensure timing.
To ensure economic stability, full employment was based on active state intervention. To ensure economic stability, full employment, and social well-being. However, the combination of economic stagnation and high
I'm so lost if it's rice. Yeah, we've moved from rice to neoliberalism.
and social well-being to ensure economic stability, which had been widely adopted in the post-World War II period, was based on active state intervention to ensure economic stability, full employment, and social well-being. However, the combination of economic stagnation and high inflation, known as stagflation.
Okay. I'm saying 927 needs exposed.
Expose the limitations of state oil shock. Expose the
Okay, so maybe give this a little space.
Expose the limitations of state intervention. Oil shock. Expose the limitations of state interventionalism. Keynesian theory, which assumed an inverse.
I think that could probably use some.
Keynesian theory, interventionalism. Keynesian theory, which assumed an inverse relationship with inflation and unemployment, failed to provide effective answers to the economic situation at that time, where high inflation coexists with high unemployment. This created an intellectual and political vacuum, opening space for neoliberal ideas to gain prominence as an alternative solution. Neoliberalism offered an explanation for the failures of the Keynesian model, pointing to.
I don't know how to fix those hard S's. You guys can clearly hear those really sharp S's that are coming through. I don't know if that's just a delivery thing, but I gotta watch for that.
In the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher led a series. In the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher led a series of economic reforms. In the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher led a series of economic reforms that radically transformed the British economy.
Wait, did she? Crazy.
In the United Kingdom, for the reforms that Thatcher and Reagan sought to implement. In the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher led a series of economic reforms that radically transformed the British economy. Her approach.
Okay, because I was listening while putting all my art stuff away, but somehow I didn't realize we moved on from rice. Yeah, oopsies. My bad. I didn't clearly define that.
Of national industrialization of national of national industries, of national industries that have been nationalized, in the post-war period, such as coal, steel,
Definitely hear them. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
such as coal, steel, and telecommunications. The idea was that the private sector, guided by market forces, could operate these industries more efficiently than the state.
All right, let's see. I say I have a repeat around 1250. So let's see.
Allowing the government and labor market flexibility in the weakening of the welfare state.
All right. See if that works.
Which resulted in deep cuts to social programs and the weakening of the welfare state. Furthermore, it confronted the welfare state. Furthermore, it confronted state. Furthermore, it confronted and
Let's see. I think there's an artifact in there.
furthermore, it confronted and
You probably did. I was just too focused on organizing. Yeah,
furthermore, it welfare state. Furthermore, it confronted and defeated unions.
That's too bad.
And defeated unions. It confronted and defeated unions, which were seen as obstacles to economic growth and labor market flexibility. The power of unions was severely reduced, allowing the government to implement its reforms without organized opposition from workers. The power of unions was severely reduced, allowing the government to implement its The power of unions was severely reduced, allowing the government to The power of unions was severely reduced, allowing the government to implement its reforms without organized opposition from workers. The power of unions was severely reduced, allowing the government to implement its reforms without organized opposition from workers. The power of unions was severely reduced, allowing the government to implement its reforms without organized opposition from workers. Without organized opposition from workers. These policies, although highly controversial and unpopular in some sectors of society, particularly among workers in the affected industries and the communities, these policies, although highly controversial and forms without organized opposition from workers.
All right, let's see. Let me double check.
Its reforms without organized Furthermore, in the weakening of the welfare state. Furthermore, it confronted and defeated unions.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Furthermore, it confronted and defeated unions. 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 Furthermore, it confronted and defeated unions.
Okay. All's right in the world. That makes sense to me.
Throughout much of the 1980s, With a notable economic recovery following the recession at the beginning of the decade, they were also criticized for increasing income inequality and weakening the social safety net. The combination of tax cuts for the rich and the reduction of social programs has led to an increase in concentration of wealth and an increasingly evident economic polarization in American society. The perceived success of these policies in revitalizing the economies of the United
All right, let's see. Let's go to 2030.
Competition is considered essential because it forces companies to constantly improve their products, reduce costs, and find more effective ways to operate, all with the goal constantly improve their products, reduce costs, their products, reduce costs, and find more effective ways, costs, and find more effective.
Okay.
All with the goal to operate, all with the goal of attracting all with the goal of to operate, all with the goal of attracting customers and maximizing profits. In a free market,
How about this?
and maximizing profits. In a free market, customers have the freedom to choose from a variety of products and services, which encourages companies to innovate and offer higher quality goods and services at competitive prices. This competitive dynamic, in the neoliberal view, not only drives technological progress and productive efficiency, but also generates a process of creative destruction, in which less efficient companies, in which less destruction, in which less efficient companies are replaced by those that can better adapt to market conditions. Furthermore, neoliberalism argues by those that can better adapt to market conditions. Furthermore, neoliberalism argues that economic freedom, understood as the absence of by those. Furthermore, neoliberalism argues.
Okay.
Economic freedom allows economic freedom allows individuals to make choices about how to produce, consume, and invest their resources, which is seen as a fundamental expression of personal autonomy. The idea is that in a free market, economic freedom allows individuals to make choices about.
Oh, okay. Reading that wrong. 2437. $24.37.
Continues to influence global economic policies. Continues to influence global tradition of classical economics. Continues to deeply rooted in the tradition. This vision, deeply rooted in the tradition of classical economics, continues to influence global economic policies. Despite the criticisms and challenges that have emerged over the past few decades, the belief in the superiority. Despite the criticisms and challenges.
Okay, let's see if I can elongate that slightly and then elongate that slightly. What's that sound like?
The belief decades. The belief in this.
No.
Despite the criticisms and challenges, the belief in the superiority of.
Okay. So we move that. 2455.
Deregulation, which sees competition and economic freedom as the main drivers of progress and prosperity. Deregulation. One of the central, a cornerstone of neoliberal ideology, which sees remains a cornerstone of neoliberal. Remains a cornerstone of intervention.
Okay, that needs to go over. That's why.
Remains a state intervention. Remains a cornerstone of neoliberal ideology, which sees competition and.
All right, so we got remains, check. 2518, more conducive.
More conducive to the free competition, with the aim of promoting an environment more conducive to the.
All right, so.
With the aim of promoting an environment more conducive on the economy, with the aim of promoting an environment more conducive to the free competition and market dynamism. Proponents of neoliberalism argue that government regulations. Proponents of neoliberalism argue the economy with the aim of on the economy with the aim of promoting an environment more conducive.
Okay. How about this and then that?
With the aim of promotions on the economy with the aim of promoting an environment more conducive to the free competition and market dynamism. Proponents.
All right. 2735. 27. 30. 36, 35.
The removal or simplification, therefore, deregulation. The removal.
Okay. I'm saying these need to go together. That's what I'm saying.
Therefore, deregulation, innovation. Therefore, deregulation, the removal or simplification of a. Therefore.
Okay, so how do these two now blend?
Quality and less innovation. Therefore, deregulation, the removal or simplification of existing regulations, is seen by neoliberal. Is seen by regulations. Is seen by neoliberals as a way to restore market balance and encourage competition. The logic the logic behind the competition. The logic behind deregulation The logic behind deregulation is that by eliminating the barriers created by regulations, companies will be better able to compete freely, innovate, and operate more efficiently. This, in turn, innovate and operate more efficiently. This, in turn, benefits customers, who will have access to a greater variety of products and services at lower prices. Competition also forces companies to become economic growth. A classic example of neoliberal deregulation can be found to the market. This regulatory environment protected existence that often left something to be desired. Deregulation, promoted under the Jimmy Carter, increased competition and resulted in lower fares and more flight options for customers. More flight options for customers, more fares and more flight options for customers, However, it has also led to challenges such as sector consolidation and issues related to in addition to safety. In addition to the aviation sector, deregulation was applied to several other industries, such as telecommunications, was applied to several other industries, such as telecommunications, energy, and finance. In the financial sector, for example, such as the aforementioned 2008 could lead to Furthermore, the absence of regulation could lead to systemic crises, such as the aforementioned 2008 financial crisis, which exposed the risks of a deregulated financial market. Ultimately, deregulation as promoted deregulation as promoted by neoliberalism which exposed the regional market. Ultimately, deregulation as promoted by neoliberalism is an attempt to return to a purer market model where competition and innovation drive economic growth. Ultimately, deregulation as promoted global economic affairs, a private sector is inherently more efficient. The government's role to increase economic efficiency. Privatization is advocated by neoliberals as a way to increase economic efficiency, reduce the public deficit, and limit the government's role in the economy, in line with the fundamental belief that the private sector is inherently more efficient and innovative than the public sector. The logic underlying privatization is that private companies operating in a competitive market have stronger incentives to reduce costs, improve service quality, and respond have stronger incentives to reduce costs, have stronger costs, improve service quality, and respond to consumer needs. The logic underlying privatization the logic underlying in the public sector. The logic underlying privatization is that private companies operating in a competitive market have stronger incentives to reduce costs, improve service quality, and respond to consumer needs than public companies, which are often seen as inefficient, bureaucratic, and less responsive. By transferring ownership and operation of assets and services to the private sector, privatization advocates argue that conditions are created for a better and alleviate the fiscal burden on governments. Furthermore, privatization is pressure. Furthermore, privatization is seen as a tool to reduce the public deficit and alleviate the fiscal burden on governments. By selling state pressure. Furthermore, privatization is seen as a tool to reduce the public deficit and alleviate pressure. Furthermore, privatization
33:45
on governments that can be used to reduce without the need to raise taxes. Furthermore, the transfer of public services to the private sector can reduce government expenses in the long term, such as the state will no longer need to subsidize or directly finance these services. By selling state assets on governments, furthermore, privatization is seen as a tool to reduce the public deficit, or the transfer of public services to the private sector can reduce government expenses in the long term, such as the state will no longer need to subsidize or directly finance these services. Sectors such as transport, energy, water, and health, which were traditionally managed by the state, have become frequent targets of privatization programs in many countries. Each of these sectors has specific characteristics that influence the impact and consequences of privatization.
All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and save it where it is and get to the rest of this list tomorrow. I am starting to fall asleep while I'm in the chair here, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the evening. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, Kirsten, for keeping me company tonight. Thank you. I got a big list still of things to do on here, things to cross off. And yeah, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more Post-it notes. And we're about almost 2 in right now of 8. So we got about a fourth of the job tonight done. So happy to have done that, to knock out at least a quarter. And yeah, I'll be back in tomorrow. I actually have a half day at work tomorrow, so I'm going to come back in. Have a good night, Eric, and anyone else in here. Thank you so much, Kirsten. Thank you so much, Kirsten. I think we have a couple lurkers in here, but I love to see it. Kirsten, I appreciate you. And I appreciate the vote of confidence saying that you got this. Thank you. we're going to make this happen. This is going to be book 3 in the series, and probably one of the last ones that I myself edit, because this is a lot, or at least edit for the most part, because sending it off and getting that, like, even though I had to shift the timing on it, those things can be communicated. Those can be fixed over time. It makes it so much easier just to off-source all of that and get back exactly what I need and focus on the recording of it. So thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And Kirsten, hopefully you get some sleep before your job tomorrow. I know it's pretty late in New York,